Well, hi everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. We are at a sold-out rockin' JCC Arena for the championship match between Pelican Bay and the defending champion Ballers Inc. No Cinderella stories this season. These were the top two teams during the regular season. Last week, Pelican Bay knocked off Swish Kebab in the semis, while Ballers Inc. took care of business against the Chip Collectors. Great news about tonight's game is that both teams are fully staffed. Everybody will be suited up. We're expecting a hard-fought, close match. Both teams are strong offensively as well as defensively. We spoke with both captains just a few minutes ago to get their thoughts on what it'll take to win tonight's game.
I mean, they beat us both times this season, so we got to flip the script on them. They're going to play hard defense. We got to play better defense. It's going to be a grinded-out game, and points will be at a premium, and we'll see who comes out on top.
I think the key against this team is to jump out on them early. They're very good front running. You let them get ahead, they can kind of steamroll you. If we can make them play from behind a little bit, I think we got a much better chance.
And here we go. The opening tip goes to Ballers Inc. Steve Lund, the captain of Ballers Inc., with the ball. And we need to apologize up front for the technical difficulty we're having with the camera. Hopefully we'll get that resolved quickly. John O'Brien with the ball, guarded very aggressively by Kevin Barger. Kevin stares him down. Dan Annette has the ball down and low on the left side up against Eli. Dan forces himself up and in, and he'll make the first shot of the night. Nice move by Dan Annette. Coach No brings the ball up. Over to Michael Chow on the left side. Michael Chow loves to drive the lane, tries to throw up a layup. It's blocked, and he's actually fouled on the play. So Michael Chow will go to the line for two. Not sure who they called that foul on. I think it was Gotti, but I'm not sure. Either way, Michael Chow will be going to the line for two. Second year in the league for Michael. He was drafted by the Chip Collectors last season. Michael Chow is a good free throw shooter, but he can get streaky at times. First shot, nicely done. Nothing but net. Pelican Bay on the board. 2-1, Ballers Inc. Michael Chow with his second shot, and nothing but nets. A nice day, nice start of the game for Michael Chow. Dan Annette with the ball. Dan Annette definitely the best player on Ballers Inc. Although he does get emotional at times, and he needs to make sure he keeps that in check because he can get himself in foul trouble very easily. And Gotti rolls to the right, guarded by Phil. Phil with a nice block of Gotti's nice move. The ball over to Eli. Eli brings it up the right side and takes it back out. Phil, a very impressive defender. Phil with the ball back out to Eli. Michael Chow rolls to the top. He gives it to Phil. Phil's not afraid to shoot it. He loves to play low, but he'll throw down a three-pointer here and there. Hang with the ball, and sure enough, right on cue, he shoots the first shot of the night from three, and it's nothing but net. Dan Annette not too happy with that, showing a little bit of frustration. Steve Lum with the ball up on the left side. He drives the middle, loses the handle, gets it back. Tries to get it down low to Ashley, stolen by Michael Chow. Michael Chow driving the lane, goes back outside to Eli. Eli will come to the paint, does his patented hop and floater, and this time it doesn't go. That is Eli's favorite move, to come from the arc into the lane and then just hop over everybody. He's got great hops. Steve Lum gets down low to Ashley. Ashley rolls to his right, throws up a floater over Note, and that is good. Ashley is a little bit of a wild card. Ashley is an extremely athletic and extremely powerful player. He is always an impact player when he's on the floor. The problem is he gets hurt, and he's been hurt quite a few times over the last couple of years, including this season. So he will need to be careful and make sure that he can play the whole game and not hurt that leg that he's done so many times. Great move by Phil. Gets it down low to Eli. Eli with the layup. And again, Dan Annette. Extremely frustrated. I'm not sure if he's mad at himself or the players for letting that pass from Phil get down so easily. Steve with the behind the back float, or behind the back drive the lane. His floater won't go. Rebound, Kevin Barger. Kevin Barger, one of the better rebounders in the league. In fact, he finished second in rebounding, finishing only behind Graham Sterling of the Chip Collectors. Eli with the ball up on top. Notice how they play off of Eli when he's up high. Eli hasn't proven himself yet to be a good three-point shooter, so they'll give him that shot. Dan Annette steals the ball from Phil, and Dan Annette is fouled, and right on cue. Kevin Barger with his first foul of the night. Actually, this could easily have been his third foul of the night. The refs let the boys play, as they say, early in the game. Gotti with the ball. Gotti likes to handle the ball. Don't really see him as a ball handler, but he loves to handle it. He tries to bounce pass to Dan, knocked away by Eli. Dan with it. Dan tries his little jump shot from 12. Won't go. With John O'Brien getting the rebound, double team by Note and Kevin. And Kevin gets his second foul of the game. Less than 5 minutes into the game, Kevin has now got his second foul. Note cannot be too happy with this. Lum to bring the ball in, and again, Kevin all over John O'Brien. He could have got a foul there. Steve Lum goes down low to, and John tries to do a fall-away 10-footer. Kevin Barger all over him. Again, that could have been a foul. I tell you, Kevin has got to get a little bit more in control on the defensive side. Look at him power through Steve, power through John. Tries to power through John again. Throws up a little floater, won't go. Knocked away. Picked up by Michael Chow, and Michael Chow from 16 will knock it down. And John O'Brien is livid. He's barking at the ref, saying Kevin's throwing his forearm up. That particular ref does not like to hear it from players. That ref will cut the player short very quickly when they start to complain. But I tell you, I think O'Brien's got a legitimate beef. Ashley with a shot from the right side, counted, it's good. So Ashley not only good when he's down low, but he is lethal when he's shooting from inside of 15. You cannot leave Ashley open. He'll knock that down at least 70-80% of the time. Note with the ball, goes to the left side to Eli. Dan playing off of Eli, daring him to take that three-point shot. Eli stopped and trapped by John, gives it to Phil. Phil goes to the left side, drives the baseline, tries to put up a bank, won't go. Dan knocks it out. Phil gets his own rebound. Phil tries to go back up, and he is not fouled. The ball is just knocked out by Stephen Lum. Phil, I tell you, he can play down low. He can play up high. He has really improved his game over last season. Chow with the ball on the left side. Tries to get it to Phil, knocked away by Gotti. Michael Chow from the left side from 17 comes up short. Rebound Gotti. Gotti, another one of the better rebounders in the league. Steve Lum with a long throw down to Ashley at the under the hoop. Ashley throws up a desperation as he's being guarded by Note. Won't go. Picked up by Michael Chow. Michael Chow fakes right, goes to the left. Goes up to Eli. Again, Dan playing 4 feet off of Eli, daring him to take that three. Phil fakes right, goes left, fakes Gotti. Tries to spin move and is stolen by Stephen Lum. Steals the ball. He goes behind his back, drops to his knees, is able to get out to John O'Brien. O'Brien from 17, and count that. That'll go. John O'Brien, definitely one of the better shooters in the league, and he'll throw up a three with you right in his face, and he knows he can do it. But again, a streaky shooter. When he's on, no one better. When he's off, a lot of people can take advantage of him. Eli goes to the paint. Tries to do a fall away with Dan in his face. With Gotti with an impressive behind-the-back save, keeping it in play. Steve Lum ends up with the ball. Eli kind of forced that shot up against Dan. Dan with the ball. Goes to the lane. Eli back on him. Dan does his little fall-away jumper from the right side. Comes up short. Note with the rebound. Gives it up to Eli on the left side. Dan staying close to Eli. But again, softens up as Eli goes out. Phil trying to set up pick. Eli goes to Michael Chow on the top, fakes right, goes left. Gets Steven a popcorn, kicks it over to Kevin. Kevin tries to go with a layup and is picked away by Gotti. Gotti against Eli, spins to the right. He tries to go up and he is fouled. And hopefully this will not be on Kevin. And nope, this one is on Eli. Boy, that would have been Kevin's third foul. You get 5 fouls in this league and then you're sitting. By the way, take note of who's watching on the lower right of your screen. That's the legendary Rajiv. We'll have a story about Rajiv a little bit later in the game. Rajiv didn't play this season, and he may not play next season as he's trying to heal up from a leg injury. But definitely one of the better players in the league. And you have to credit Steve Lum for bringing Rajiv into this league a few seasons ago. But there was a little controversy when he did it. So Gotti missed the first one, knocks home the second one. Eli with the ball up on the right side. On top of the key, and this time he'll take a shot from at the top of the arc. Won't go. Rebound, Dan net. That is why they let Eli shoot that three. Dan drives to the left side, tries to go like he did in the first play of the game, and again, he's able to make that shot over to Eli. Nice drive by Dan net. Got ourselves a good ball game so far. A little over 15 left. 12-9, Ballers Inc. on top. Michael Chow from 3. It's off the left side, won't go. Rebound, Gotti. Gotti, one of the younger players in the league and also the commissioner of the league. Brings the ball up. Don O'Brien with the ball, rolls to the left side. Again, this is where Kevin Barger picks him up. Ashley tries to go up against Note, and it's fouled as he goes up. So Ashley will be going to the line for the second time tonight. So Pelican Bay definitely playing an aggressive style of defense, but they've got some fouls on the board to show for it. Ashley won't go. Bangs it off the back of the rim. So far, the bench players haven't made an appearance yet. We've got Daryl Steinhaus and Mark Katz for Pelican Bay. And we've got George and Charlie for Ballers Inc. And we've got a lane violation. Ashley breaking before the ball hit the rim. For the folks that don't know, the free throw shooter has to let the ball hit the rim before he can break to try to rebound it. And he didn't do it. That's a lane violation. So Eli brings the ball up. Phil trailing behind. Eli wants to drive to the middle. Kicks it out to Phil. Phil with another three-point shot. And once again, Phil knocks it home. And look at Dan Annette barking at Gotti for letting him take that shot. Dan Annette showing his frustrations early, but it's a close ball game. Steve with the ball on top, guarded, picked nicely, or Chow picked nicely by O'Brien. Steve Lum drives the right baseline, stolen away by Eli. Eli led the league in steals, and he has another one. He goes to the left side off of Ashley. Ashley bumps him, no call, no foul. No with the ball, kicks it up to Eli. Eli will take this three-point shot. Again, hits the back of the rim, no good. Michael Chow tries to sky, but the ball taken by Stephen Lum, who throws a long pass down court to Dan. The net broken up nicely by Kevin Barger. Eli with the ball. 12:50 left, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game, 12 apiece. 12:50 left in the first half, we should say. Gotti guarding Phil. Phil back out on top to Eli. Eli fakes his shot, goes to Phil, back to Eli down low. Blocked nicely by Dan, but this time Eli is fouled on the play. And I tell you, the ref underneath the basket had just about enough squawking from the players. He has a very, very short leash. He will shut a player down as soon as that player starts to squawk, even if it's a legitimate squawk. He doesn't want to hear about it. And Eli clanks the first shot. Eli works extremely hard on his free throw shooting and his three-point shooting. Just needs to bring it to the game. So Stephen Lum is out of the game. Charlie Rosecrans making his first appearance, as is George, as Ashley is on the bench. And Eli with his second free throw of the night. And this one also hits off the back, rebounded nicely by Kevin Barger, and he's fouled on the play. And Kevin's going to go to the line. And it looks like the foul was called on Dan. I didn't get the number on that. We'll have to verify that in just a moment. Kevin will go to the line. He's a good free throw shooter. And he proves that by knocking the first one down. Very nice. And Kevin with his second attempt. No one from Pelican Bay on the right side. Gotti and Charlie left by themselves. And this one banks off the back of the rim. So Kevin is 1 for 2. John O'Brien brings the ball up. Rolls to his right. And John O'Brien from the right side of the arc. In and out won't go. Ball kicked out of bounds by Pelican Bay. Will stay with Ballers Inc. George brings it in, gives it to Gotti. Gotti rolls to the top. Phil's going to pick him up. Charlie Rosecrans calling for the ball, gives it to Dan. Dan's double teamed. Throws up his shot, and this one will go. Dan does a great job of being able to forcing that shot up in front of one or two players. He does a very, very good job of that. Daryl Steinhaus from 3 off the front, and it still goes. So Daryl Steinhaus making his presence known. Daryl is basically, his job is to guard the corners and hit three-point shots from the corner. You won't see him battle down low too much, but the man can make a three-pointer when left open. Gotti goes up and is fouled. Nope, the ball is on the ground. The foul is on, looks like that was on Phil. Gotti will bring it in. Goes to Jan and Kevin. Kevin all over all over John. John looking for the foul, not going to get it. Kevin has been blessed by the refs tonight. Boy, I tell you, he is playing so aggressive. And to only have 2 fouls, that's he should be feeling pretty lucky. George with the ball. Rolls to the right, kicks it back to the left corner to Gotti. Gotti's going to roll to the lane. He's going to put a floater up over Phil off the glass. Won't go. Rebound by Phil.
Is he leaving town or something?
Phil's a big man, not afraid to bring the ball up. Phil slowly rolls over to the left side, gives it to Eli at the left arc. Marquette setting a screen on Dan. Eli trying to go from the left side to bank it in, won't go. And Dan is furious. Dan thought he was fouled. Didn't get the call, and Dan has just been teed up. Dan has just been teed up. We talked about it. He is going to have to sit for the next 4 minutes. So it's 8:45, 8:43. So he's going to be out at least until the 4:40 mark. And you could see it building. Dan was frustrated on virtually every play down the court. And it's just a matter of time. So Kevin will have 2 shots, and Pelican Bay will get the ball. Kevin's first shot won't go. Doesn't take advantage of that. Dan pacing the outside of the court. He'll be sitting for 4 minutes. Kevin with the second shot. This one, same thing. A replica of the first. Hits the back, won't go in. So Pelican Bay does not capitalize on the 2 shots. And Kevin will sit down for a moment. Probably a good idea for him to sit. We've got Steinhaus in. Michael Chow, no. Mark Katz and Eli on the floor for Pelican Bay. Eli with the ball, looks to drive the right side. He loves to do that spin. He's trapped, and he almost throws it away. No with the ball. Over to Eli in the right corner. And he throws the ball to Michael Chow, and Michael Chow can't get the ball, loses the handle of it. It's going to be a backcourt violation on Pelican Bay. And it looks like we have a Gotti going out, Ashley back in after a short break. John O'Brien gives the ball to George. George rolls to the left side, gives it to Ashley on the left side. He goes to the top of the key to Steve. Steve goes to the lane, tries to drive, is blocked. No foul on the play, and Steve is down. Steve is down. It looked like Steve might have collided knees, possibly with Mark Katz. Now, over the years, Steve Lum has been accused of flopping. In fact, players would count the number of flops during the game. You would hear guys go 1, 2 as he flopped throughout a game. In fact, they also used to do bets as to the over and under on the number of times that Steve would flop. But I tell you, in Steve's credit, this year he has not flopped at all. At least I've never seen it. And this certainly was no flop. And it looks like Steve's going to be able to get up. He's walking it off. I tell you, anyone that's played basketball and banged a knee to knee knows that that is extremely painful. But it appears good news for Ballers Inc. Steve's going to stay in the game. Hopefully he can walk that off. John O'Brien coming in to do a little house cleaning, wiping up the sweat that might be on the floor. Steve's going to jog down to the other end of the court to hopefully loosen up that knee.
What did Dan do to get teed up?
And the ball is stolen by Eli. George trying to get the ball into John O'Brien, and Eli steals it. Steinhaus with the ball, gives it to Michael Chow. Michael Chow from the left side throws up a 3, won't go. Mark Katz kicks it back out. And it is out of bounds. Ball going back to Ballers Inc. Mark Katz, I tell you, he is very aggressive down low. He is known to be a very aggressive defender, we'll say. But he can be very helpful on those rebounds. Steve Lum does his floater. That won't go. Once again, Mark Katz taps it out of bounds. John O'Brien, he'll throw it up. Nope, he kicks it over to Steve Lum in the left corner, and Steve Lum is fouled by Eli. So Lum's going to be going to the line with a 1-and-1. I believe Eli's now has 2 fouls. He's going to have to be kind of careful. So Steve, once again, a streaky free throw shooter, can get on a roll and not miss anything, and then he will do that. It's up just a little bit short. Rebound, Mark Katz. Good job, Mark. Mark is not afraid to give the ball up after he gets it. He knows he's not a ball handler, so he gives it up quickly. Eli with the ball in the right side. He tries to drive the lane, goes over to Note. Note tries to drive the left baseline, and Ashley showing that he's got some weight to throw around. Ashley, a very aggressive, very powerful player, as we mentioned. Don't want to say he's dirty. He's not a dirty player, but he sometimes gets out of control, and that's what happened there to Note. And Ashley had no problem bumping the big guy out of bounds. The ball in Eli's hands. He tries to drive the baseline, does it behind the back, loses control, gets it over to Mark Katz. Gives it up to Michael Chow. Michael Chow driving the lane. He's going to go on the left side, and it's going to go. That is an impressive finish by Michael Chow. Michael Chow on the left side puts it back up with the right hand to get it to go. John O'Brien brings the ball up quickly, goes to the left side, tries to throw it back to the middle. No one there, stolen by Pelican Bay. Note, bringing the ball up quickly, kicks it over to Michael Chow on the left side. Michael Chow drives the left baseline, goes up high to Eli at the top. Eli does a spin to the right, in the lane with his floater, in and out, won't go again. That's happened a couple of times to Eli. Eli's got a great spin move, can get over everybody, but right now he's struggling to finish that little floater. Ball out, Pelican Bay. Mark Katz will bring it in, gives it over to Steinhaus. Dan softly covering Darryl. I don't think that's Dan's job is to really guard Darryl, but you can't leave him open because you know he'll make it. Michael Chow drives, kicks it back out to Eli. Eli goes to the lane. He's going to do his floater again, and once again it bounced off the top, but we've got a foul on the play. We have nope, check that. We have got a timeout. Pelican Bay calling their first timeout. 4:05 left. They are up 18-14, and we have got ourselves the game that we expected. Well, whoever bet the under on this game has got to be feeling pretty confident right now. Tangiers had the over and under of 102 with just a little under 4 minutes left in the first half. The score is 18-18, so they've got to be feeling pretty confident. Ashley with a 12-footer from the right side won't go. Nice put back up by Steve Lum on that reverse. So they score the first buckets coming out of the timeout. Just a little over 3:40 left. Michael Chow bringing the ball up on the right side. Kicks it over to Eli at the left arc. Eli, one bounce over to Note. Note, I haven't seen take a shot tonight. Until right then, he put up a floater layup. Won't go. Rebound. Ashley. Lavel over to Steve. Steve over to Dan. Dan does a spin to the right. Guarded nicely by Eli. Nice and clean. Dan over to Ashley. Ashley from 14. Ashley good from 14. Again, you can't leave Ashley open. The man will knock that shot down more often than not. So Ballers Inc. comes out strong out of the timeout. Just a little over 3 minutes left. Michael Chow drives the lane, does a floater from 5, won't go. Tipped out to the left, picked up by Kevin Barger. Kevin Barger will do his drive to the lane, and a floater, and good, and fouled on the play. I tell you, Kevin Barger, I don't know of anyone that gets more fired up on a regular basis than our man Kevin. Now, again, he's got some serious foul trouble going right now. We have over a half a game left. So he's got to be careful there. The man plays 120% emotion 100% of the time. All right, now there's some discussion as to whether the bucket was good. Getting confirmation. The layup was good, so this will be an N1. Kevin's shot is up and off the back of the rim. Got a friendly shooter's bounce, and it's good. By the way, you hear that defense call in the back? That is Mark Katz. Mark Katz is the best cheerleader any club could have. He's the best man on the bench, so supportive of everybody. Dan with a fall-away jumper won't go. Dan snuffed by Kevin on a three-point shot. Kevin picks it up, drops it back to Phil. Phil powers his way through John O'Brien. And John O'Brien will get the charging call. No doubt about that call. Wow. John O'Brien not afraid to throw up a three from the top. Kevin Barger not having any of it with the best stuff of the night. Phil tried to power his way through, but John had the position and takes the charging call. Wow, what a series there. Dan Annette will throw it up from the top of the three, and that will go. Ballers Inc. pulling away just a little bit, under a minute left here in the first half. Eli with the ball on the left side. Chow drives right, tries to throw one up, partially blocked and fouled as he's going up. Possibly on Dan. Dan doesn't like the call, and Dan is calling a timeout with 30 seconds left. Interesting, because the clock stops automatically at 30 seconds. And they're going to go ahead and give Ballers Inc. that timeout back. And anyone that watched last year's championship game between the Chip Collectors and Ballers Inc. knows that a timeout call was critical. We'll talk more about that later on. But now, because they do have a use it or lose it situation, they're going to go ahead and take the timeout here in the first half. Just a tick over 30 seconds left in the first half. We've got a score 21-21. All right, 2 shots for Michael Chow. And once again, Chow nets the free throw. Pelican Bay up 22-21. Michael Chow's second shot. Doesn't net it, but still makes it. Pelican Bay up by 2 with 30 seconds left to go. Dan Annette brings the ball in to Steve Lung. Steve picks up the pace just a bit. Goes to the right side. Marquardt screaming defense off on the bench. Kevin Garnett pushed John O'Brien and steals the ball and is fouled as he drives to the hoop. And again, Kevin Barger showing the emotion. And I believe it wasn't on the shot, so I think this is going to be a 1-and-1. And that foul was on John O'Brien. That'll be his second foul. So just a hair over 20 seconds left, 1-and-1. By the way, that voice you hear on the PA system, that is the captain of the court marshals, Chris Gray. And his team will have the honor of the first pick next season's draft. Congratulations, Chris. And Kevin knocks home the first shot. Some players thought it was just a 1 and we're heading back. But nope, 1-and-1. He'll get a second shot here. Second shot's on its way. And again, Kevin is good. So 2 for 2 on those 1-and-1. On that 1-and-1. Looks like Ballers Inc.'s going to work for the last shot. 10 seconds left. Chris counting it down for them so they could know. Steve looking to drive the left base. Phil's got him. Steve tries to get up to John. John screaming for a foul, saying he was pulled. No call by the ref. And so at the end of the first half, Pelican Bay on top, 25-21. An excellent first half. The recipients of this season's Noti Awards were announced this week, along with the top 5 stat getters. And the second half just about to get underway. Pelican Bay on top by a score of 25-21. If the first half is any indication, we are headed for a great finish in this championship game. Michael Chow bring the ball in, Phil to the right side. Phil tries to drive from the right side, loses control of the ball, picks it back up, tries to go back, throws up a prayer, won't go, rebound, Dan Annette. Annette over to Steve Lum, walking the ball up. Again, Pelican Bay on top, 25-21. Steve rolling to the right, left, gives it up to Dan at the top of the key. And rolls to the right, throws up one of his classic jump shots, comes up short, rebound, Kevin Barger. Michael Chow brings the ball, tries to drive the lane, loses controls, taken away by Steve Lum. A little bit of a slow start for both teams in the second half. On O'Brien gets it into Gotti. Gotti rolls to his right, throws up his right-hand floater, won't go. Rebound, Dan Annette, and he's fouled on the rebound. Looks like Phil on the foul there. Right now, Pelican Bay has some players in foul concerning situations. They need to keep an eye on that. Dan with the ball. Goes out, note all over him, doubled up by Eli. Gets the ball over to Steve Lum at the top. Steve hits the ground, gets the ball over to John O'Brien. He'll shoot from here. He rolls to the right again, tries to do a lip, and he's fouled going up. And this foul is on Phil. So O'Brien will go to the line for two. Check that. The foul is on Kevin, and that's going to be his third foul of the game. And O'Brien, definitely one of the better shooters in the league. First shot, it's good.
Come on, Kevin.
You got to wonder if Note had a talk with Kevin Barger about his foul situation. Again, Kevin needs to stay in control, and O'Brien knocks down the second. Kevin needs to stay in control. They need him on the floor. Eli with the ball, drives hard to the lane, kicks it back out to Kevin. Kevin for three, and nothing but net. Again, Dan Annette furious with that shot. Again, I don't know if he's mad at his teammates, if he's just frustrated in general, but he definitely wears his emotions on his sleeve. O'Brien from the left side, and his is good for three. You don't want to leave O'Brien open. Again, the guy is lethal from the arc, and he'll shoot with you right in his face. Eli bringing the ball up on the right side. And doing the soft guard. Again, daring Eli to take that three-point shot. He won't do it. He'll give the ball up to Phillip. Phillip to Michael at the top. The key back out to Eli. Not a lot of movement down low. People are basically leaving the key open for Eli to do just that. That's what he wasn't doing in the first half. Again, if you look closely there, Pelican Bay left the key open, leaving Eli an opportunity to drive, do his high hop, and a little floater in. Dan from the left corner, won't go, rebound, Phil. And Phillip brings the ball up on the left side. Pelican Bay slow to get back. Not a lot of urgency going on at the moment. Phillip with the ball, fakes a three, goes over to Eli on the right. Eli has the ball knocked away by Dan. Nice play by Dan. Eli over to Note. Note hasn't taken a three-point shot tonight, which is surprising because he was second best in the league, hitting 23 of 50 for 46%. The only person better was Eli Plocky of the Chip Collectors. Eli tries to do a footer, knocked away, stuffed by Gotti. John O'Brien with the ball. What a great stuff by Gotti over Eli. John O'Brien from the left side throws up an air ball. Dan beside himself. Wow. Good defensive action by Ballers Inc. Woo! Nope, walking the ball up, directing traffic. Ashley playing soft. Over to Phillip at the top of the key. He fakes the drive, comes back out. Again fakes a drive, guarded closely by Gotti. Over to Eli from the left corner. Eli with a three-point shot, won't go, but he's fouled. But Eli is fouled. So he's going to go to the line for three. And you can hear Note in the background. You know, the Noti Awards create a little bit of a stir for the GM of the Year award. Last season, the Chip Collector GM drafted Eli, Michael Chow, and Philip Kamen, all three brand new guys based off of their draft play. And Eli knocks down the first. Along with them, the Chip Collectors had Mark Katz and Daryl Steinhaus. So basically, it's the exact same team that Pelican Bay has this year, and that team last year was 9-0 going into the championship game. And they lost a very controversial championship game. Eli misses the second. But the Chip Collector GM was not awarded the GM of the Year award, and the fans of Chip Collectors felt like they were snubbed. This year, Pelican Bay has the exact same team, and their GM was given that award, so a little bit of controversy. And Eli makes the third. John O'Brien bringing the ball up on the left side. Over to Ashley in the corner. He won't shoot from there. Up to Dan, guarded closely by Eli, picked up by Michael Chow. Dan's going to do it on his own. He does his little pull-up floater, and it's good this time. You know, one thing about Dan, once he starts to drive, you can pretty much guarantee he is not going to pass the ball. He's going to be taking that shot. But knowing he's going to take it and being able to stop him are two different things. Eli goes to the lane. Goes back out to Philip on the right side, guarded closely by Gotti. Philip again tries, does his right-hand spin, goes up, won't go, fouled by Gotti. Gotti doesn't think so. That's one thing that Phil's doing this year that you never saw him do last year was this spin move. And man, what a spin move for the big guy. Doesn't always finish like that, but this time he draws the foul, so he'll go to the line for two. Man, what a great game we've got. And Philip comes up short on the first one.
Came out to that my sophomore year in college. Victory by Puck Daddy and the band. Phil with his second shot.
And Philip with the second shot, clanks off the back, won't go. Rebound, Kevin Barger. Again, Kevin Barger, the second best rebounder in the league, only behind Graham Sterling. Over to Note, still looking to take his first three-pointer of the night. Philip looking to roll to the right, throw up a little floater, won't go. Rebound, Kevin, and he with the putback. Man, Kevin is tough around the boards. And again, Dan Annette showing a little emotion. Steve goes down low to Ashley. Ashley wants to drive the lane, loses it to Michael Chow. Ashley, not the best ball handler, but when he's down low, he's tough. And Michael Chow to Eli. Eli with the fake up and in. Nice play, and again, Gotti. A little disappointed he was slow getting back. I think he was supposed to take care of the low side. Mark Hatt still screaming defense. You gotta love it. Michael Chow. Guarding Lum. Over to Ashley. Ashley from 15 comes up short this time. Rebound Phil. Pelican Bay with the ball. Note from the top, guarded by Ashley. Gets it over to Eli in the left arc. Nothing happening. Phil at the top. Fakes the shot, won't go. Eli once again from the left side, and once again comes up short, doesn't make it, but he gets his own rebound. He out-hustles John O'Brien to that ball. And again, Eli, definitely the most athletic and quick guy in the league. Michael Chow kicks it out to Kevin. Kevin rolls to his right, and we've got an offensive moving pick. Michael Chow. Woo. You gotta love this. Just a little over 10 minutes left in the game. Excuse me, check, a little over 15 minutes left in the game. Dan moving, and again, Dan going up and in. Or not in, excuse me. As I mentioned earlier, if Dan drives the lane, he will be shooting. He won't be passing it away. Over to Ashley from 15. That won't go. Rebound, Gotti over the back of Philip. Gotti tries to dump it off to Ashley and knocked out of bounds. And the ball will stay with Ballers Inc. Ashley will bring the ball in. Over to Lemon, the right corner. Ashley all by himself underneath. Nope, sees it, plays a little bit soft. The ball into Dan, knocked away by Eli, but is fouled. Woo. And we're not in a 1-on-1 yet, so Steve Lum will bring the ball in. Ashley pulls to the top of the key. Here comes Dan. 3 guys on Dan. Dan gets it low down to Ashley. Ashley blows an easy layup. Great pass by Dan to Ashley down low. Ashley goes up with no one around him and just came up short. Eli to Phillip. Phillip goes to the right. Won't go. Rebound. Gotti. Gotti trying to get control and somehow gets onto it. Throws a long pass down to Ashley, but over his head. Ball back to Pelican Bay. 36-28. Pelican Bay up by 8 with 13:46. And looks like we are going to have a timeout. Pelican Bay. Woo! 36-28, 13:46 left to go. What a great championship match we've got going so far. All right, as we come out of this timeout, 13:46, Pelican Bay on top, 36-28, and what a championship game this has been so far. One thing I've noticed is that both teams are going primarily with their starters. The bench players aren't getting a lot of action tonight. I'm sure they're not too happy about that, but this has made for a great game. All right, Eli with the ball on the right side, 36-28, Pelican Bay. Eli rolls to the free throw line over to Daryl Steinhaus. Speaking of the bench player, he'll throw up a 3, comes up short this time. Rebound Phillip. Phillip tries to throw up a soft floater right hook, won't go. Rebound Gotti. So we see Mark Katz on the floor, Daryl Steinhaus on the floor. So 2 bench players there, and everyone's favorite, Charlie Rosecrans, is on the floor. So here we were just talking about the bench players not getting a lot of time, and they come out of this timeout on the floor. So that's good to see. All right, the ball in Gotti's hands towards the top. And George of Ballers Inc. is on the floor. So all 4 bench players on the floor at the same time. Pelican Bay with the ball. Mark Katz tries to bounce past Daryl. Daryl down low. You don't normally see him there. Wasn't ready for that pass, and the ball's out of bounds. Ball back to Ballers Inc. You know, one thing about George doesn't get a lot of playing time and doesn't take a lot of shots, but he is a very accurate shooter. And Dan from way downtown won't go, tries to follow up on his long 3. Rebound, Kevin Barger. Barger tries to drive against O'Brien. And O'Brien fouls him, and he doesn't think it's a foul. And Kevin, a little shaken up on that play, down. Kevin, one of the strongest, most physical players. If he's on the ground, there's something that happened. Looks like his right hip might be hurting. And the refs are going to stop the clock while we see if Kevin is okay. You know, you look in the lower right corner of your screen, you see Rajiv. Rajiv is sat out this season. I think he's sitting out next season. Definitely one of the better players in the league. And you got to give credit to Steve Lum for bringing Rajiv into the league. This was 2 or 3 seasons ago. However, when Rajiv was brought in, Rajiv didn't make it to draft night, so none of the other coaches got to see his skills. And Stephen Lum didn't really give a good assessment of how good Rajiv was. So the other captains were a little bit blind, and sure enough, Steve Lum gets Rajiv, and they go on to win a championship. Kevin with the first shot, nothing but net. And that infuriated the captains. Matt Penabianco, who's the greatest player to ever play in the 40 Division League, was livid and was really annoyed at Steve. And a term came out pulling a Rajiv. That's when a captain, and Kevin's second shot won't go, rebound Gotti. And that's when a captain gets a player, recruits a player, and somehow gets him on his team because that player didn't make draft night, so the other captains couldn't see him, and the captain didn't really give a good assessment. So the captains didn't know who this person was. That is the term pulling a Rajiv. Well, in this game, you've got John O'Brien. Again, credit Steve Lum for bringing John in. Definitely a credit to our league. But the same scenario. John O'Brien didn't, for some reason, come to draft night, so the captains didn't get to see him play. And O'Brien, with his float in the middle, doesn't go, feels he's fouled, showing his emotion. So once again, the captains don't get to see how good O'Brien is. Steve Lum says he's a little bit better than a Rob Stroud, which was certainly an understatement. Kevin on the left lane drives and is called for traveling. No foul, just traveling, ball back. So, once again, the Ballers Inc. are able to pull in a player, top caliber player, without any of the captains seeing how good this player was and without a good assessment. And that not only infuriated the captains this time, but players throughout the league were quite annoyed. Look at Charlie Rosecrans, wide open, won't get the ball. Dan goes on his left side, tries to put a shot, won't go, gets it back, tries to go back up, and he's fouled going up. So anyway, so the players this season were really annoyed at Steve for, once again, pulling a Rajiv. And they were able to get John O'Brien on their team. Again, a top quality player, certainly a difference maker, an impact player. And the other coaches didn't really get a fair chance to draft him, because I suspect, and Annette misses the first of two. I suspect John O'Brien probably would have gone sooner than he did. He certainly wouldn't have gotten down to the Ballers Inc. draft, that's for sure. The second shot from Dan misses again. Dan, a good shooter, but not so strong from the free throw line tonight. So anyway, that's the term, pulling a Rajiv, and now you know. All right, Kevin with the ball, rolls to the right side, gives to Eli in the right corner. Eli drives to the lane and is fouled. Nope, check that. He travels. I didn't really see that, but the refs, the person that counts, did see it. They call Eli for traveling. So a little controversy, but what sports league doesn't have its share of controversy? Anyway, we're looking forward to having Rajiv back, hopefully if not next season, the season after. Definitely a good teammate, an excellent player, brings up the quality of the league. All right, and here's O'Brien with the ball, giving it back to Steve Lum. Steve Lum rolls up on the right side. Steve Lum loses the ball, kicks it out of bounds, ball back to Pelican Bay. Once again, for the folks that are just joining us, the voice you hear in the background, that's Chris Gray, captain of the court marshals, who will be having the first pick in next season's draft. So, I guess congratulations to Chris on that. You have to finish in last place to get that first draft, but certainly a nice upside. All right, Phil with the ball, rolls it, or kicks it over to Eli in the left corner. Eli being dared to take that three-point shot. Dan still playing soft off of him. Kevin drives the right side of the lane, throws up a bank, won't go, rebound, Gotti. Down to just over 7 minutes left in the game. Gotti tries to give it up to Dan. Dan forces it up, and Dan gets the bouncing in. And the famous "Let's Go." You know who that's from? That's Steve Lum. He's legendary for that call, "Let's go." Pelican Bay up 37-30, 7:25 left to go. Michael Chow with the ball over to Eli at the top. He'll take a shot from up there. Won't go. Rebound. Phillip gets the ball back and is fouled by... The ref hasn't given the foul out just yet. I think it's on Dan. It is on Dan. And that's Dan's third personal, so he needs to be a little bit careful. Certainly you can't lose Dan and expect to win, and you can't lose Kevin on Pelican Bay and expect to win. Both are in foul situations right now. Eli from the top, screen set by Note. Eli back out to Note up at top. And Eli left wide open at the top to shoot a three, won't do it, gives it to Kevin. Kevin will shoot it. John O'Brien plays off him. Kevin tries to drive the left side, throws up a bank off the glass, won't go, rebound, down and net. And Kevin Barger tried to tie up Dan, but instead gets his fourth foul. Kevin Barger with his fourth foul. There's 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. He cannot afford to get his fifth foul. Whew. Note has to be beside himself right now. There's Dan driving the lane, throws up a floater, gets his own rebound, and is able to put it back up and in. 37-32, 5:57 left to go. Pelican Bay on top. Nope, over to Phil. Phil rolls to the right, tries to drive to the right lane. He'll throw up a bank, and it won't go, and it's rebounded off by Gotti, and that is Kevin Barger's fifth foul. Ballers Inc. is going to take a timeout. 5:35 left to go, 37-32, and I believe, we're going to verify, I believe that is Kevin's 5th foul. If it is, he is done for the night. And Pelican Bay is going to be in a serious situation right here. As Chris Gay, we're going to stay with you on this. Chris Gay coming over. There's the score, 37-32, 5:35 left. The bench kind of quiet over on the Pelican Bay side. Ballers Inc., even though they're down 5, has to feel a little bit motivated right now at the thought that Kevin Barger won't be on the floor. Barger talking with the ref putting his hands up like, what can I do? So now, on the floor for Pelican Bay, you've got Note, Eli, Michael Chow, starters, and the bench players, Daryl Steinhaus and Mark Katz. Woo! We are setting ourselves up for a good finish here. 37-32, Pelican Bay by 5, a little over 5.5 left to go. And Kevin on the bench, trying to motivate his troops. Play D, play D. Ball over to Dan at the left arc. Eli guarding him. Dan drives the left base, throws it up, and good! Woo! 37-34. So right off the bat, Ballers Inc. scores without Kevin on the floor. Eli rolls to the right side softly. Marquette sets a screen on Dan. Michael Chow with the ball. Christ goes left side. He loves to go to the left and throw up with his right. Won't go. Rebound. Dan Annette. Marquette's on him. Rolling back. D. Lum with the ball on the right side. John O'Brien wide open on the left arc. No, quickly picks him up. Marquette has duty on Ashley. Here's Dan with the ball. You know he's going to shoot. He pushes off a Marquette, gets away with it. Ashley tries to drive. He throws up a prayer. Won't go. Rebound. Dan Annette. And Dan Annette with the bank up and in and good. And the foul. So there's a situation where if Kevin was on the floor, chances are Kevin gets that rebound where he would normally have played down low, but instead Dan is able to take it away from either Mark Katz or Daryl Steinhaus. Pelican Bay calling timeout, 37-36. With 4:21 left. Now, notice at the clock, they're talking here. They're trying to get the timeout situation squared away, and this is a result of the championship game last season. They're verifying what the timeout situation was. Last season in the championship game, Ballers Inc. was up by 15 in the second half. The chip collectors fought back. They got back to within 3 with 7:41 left to go. Inexplicably, Dan Annette called a third timeout, a timeout that the Ballers Inc. did not have. He called it. And it should have been a technical foul. So chip collectors would have had 2 shots at the line and the ball. They could have made the score or brought the score within 1. Dan and Steve, which the video showed clearly knew or clearly had called the fouls, argued that it was the scorekeeper's fault for Dan calling the third foul. Even though the video showed that Steve and Dan called the 2 timeouts, even though the video showed the referees acknowledging earlier that they had called the second timeout, and the video showing that Chris Gray, I should say, excuse me, Chris, was working as an assistant scorekeeper, he verified that they had called the second timeout. Somehow, despite all of that, the referees declined to call a technical foul on the Ballers Inc. So instead of getting 2 shots in the ball, they waved it off, and the Ballers Inc. was able to go on and win that championship. Extremely controversial. Extremely. In fact, so much so, a documentary was done that chronicled the event. And Michael Chow from way downtown forced that one. Won't go. Rebound. Stephen Long. 37-37. And it's now a 1-1. On the foul, Steve will go to the line for a 1-1. So that timeout last year was definitely an impact play. Could have cost chip collectors from having a perfect season, but it is what it is. And now we're here. Steve Lum, his first shot, it's good. Steve good under pressure. Just like that, Ballers Inc. on top, 38-37. in just a matter of a minute or two since Kevin's fouling out. Steve Lum with the second shot. And this one is good. There it is. Let's go. Usually there's an F in front of that. All right. Pelican Bay might be feeling a little bit pressure right now. That shot from Michael Chow earlier was really ill-advised. Here comes... And we've got a charge by Phillip. He thought he was fouled going up. Ref says nope. Charge on Phillip Kamen. Stephen Lum, excellent job blocking the lane. So wow, has the momentum changed. 38-37, little over 2 minutes left to go. And what looked like could have been going towards a Pelican Bay win has now turned around. John O'Brien with the fall away from the left side, won't go. Gotti in on the rebound, didn't get it, but was knocked out of bounds. The ball stays with Ballers Inc. Marquette on John O'Brien. Now, John O'Brien will turn and shoot on that, no doubt about it. Note with the rebound. O'Brien will not hesitate to shoot against Marquette. Phil with the roll to the right, spin, bank, won't go, rebound, Dan, now over to Steve Lum. Again, a couple of shots that may not have been a bit good quality shots from Pelican Bay in the last 2 minutes. Steve Lum slowing it down, up 39-37, less than 2 minutes to go. No hurry to go anywhere. Steve Lum, an excellent ball handler, one of the best in the league. Rolls around, blocked by Marquette. John O'Brien wide open by himself in the left corner, doesn't get the ball. He's looking to set a pick on Michael Chow. Look at Steve Lum, and the ball is stolen away by Michael Chow. He'll go for an easy layup, and he blows the layup! He blows the layup that would have tied the game! Great picking of the pocket by Michael Chow. Steve Lum was handling the ball like Wayne Gretzky with the puck, which Michael Chow stole it, had a wide open layup, and came up with a miss. Note, and Eli double teaming. Eli trying to steal the ball from Ashley. O'Brien with a fall away, won't go. Rebound, Phillip. And black ball. We're waiting for the call. I'm not sure what the refs are talking about here. I'm not sure what Dan is doing with the clapping. The refs are discussing. Mark Katz thinks ball's out. Pelican Bay, he's waiting to bring it in. Note with his hands on the hip. I don't think he really understands what's going on. And the ball apparently was tipped last by Pelican Bay, so Ballers Inc. keeps the ball. Wow, that is crucial. Woo, what a finish we've got here. Definitely an instant JCC classic. Dan with the ball, slow, rolling towards the top. Guy sets a little pick. Eli staying tight on Dan. Dan goes down to Ashley low. Double team by Note and Mark Katz. And Note fouls Ashley. Ashley so far tonight has been very cold from the line. And he's going to go for a 1-and-1. Woo-wee! What a game, what a finish. On the floor, we've got Phillip, Eli, Mark Katz, Michael Chow, and Note. Ashley for the first of a 1-and-1. And we're corrected. It's not a 1-and-1. They are in the double bonus, so he's getting 2 shots. But he does miss the first. That was clutch. That keeps it a 1-possession game for Pelican Bay. You hear Kevin in the background box out. Eli does box out. He boxes out, but the ball still is rebounded by Ballers Inc. by John O'Brien. Gets it over to Gotti. Gotti gives it up to Steve Lum, and Michael Chow quickly fouls Steve Lum. 36.4 seconds to go. Ballers Inc. up 39-37. And Stephen Lum is going to have 2 shots to make it a 2-possession game. Pelican Bay has to be beside itself. They have this game under control. The first shot from Steve, and again he's clutch. Steve knocks down the first of two. Ballers Inc. up by 3. It's a 1-possession game. Steve will try to make it a 2 with this shot. And the shot, again, Steve is money. Nothing but net. Good job, Captain Lum. Eli hurries the ball up on the right side. Gives it over to Note. Note has not taken a 3-point shot tonight. Michael Chow has, but he'll give it up to Phillip. Phillip is guarded quickly by Gotti. He can't get away to 3. 20 seconds left. Eli does his turnaround and push up from the lane, and it's good. Down by 2. Phillip double teaming on John with Katz and Phillip, and John O'Brien is fouled. Wow, 9.7 seconds left to go. So Phil is officially credited with that foul. O'Brien will have 2 from the line. He again can put this away, make it a 2-possession. The first one calmly throws it up and in. Woo-wee. The Pelican Bay fan base kind of quiet, and the shot is in and out. Pelican Bay is still in this one. Gotti almost had the rebound, knocked out of bounds. So, 8.9 seconds to go. Ballers Inc. up 42-39. Timeout on the floor. Pelican Bay plotting out their game plan on this. I don't think they have enough time to go for a quick 2 and then foul. So I suspect they're going to be looking for a 3-point shot here. Again, Note has not taken a 3-point shot all night. The second best the second best 3-point shooter in the league with a 46% average. So you have to look for him. Michael Chow can throw the 3. Phillip can throw the 3. And surprisingly, Daryl Steinhaus is on the bench. And they're keeping Mark Katz in, who would never shoot a 3. This is kind of surprising. All right, so here we go. Just a little over 8 seconds left. Mark Katz being told he has to stay. He can't move the baseline. And the ball is into Michael Chow. And quickly, John O'Brien fouls Michael Chow. Ballers Inc. has a few fouls to play with. So they use up a little bit of clock on that foul. 7.4 seconds. Mark Katz to bring the ball in. Gives it to Note. And Note is quickly fouled by Ashley. 5.6 to go. And the next foul, it appears the next foul by Ballers Inc. will be a 1-and-1, which they're okay doing that since they're up by 3. And they're wiping the floor. Mark Katz doing a little housekeeping of his own, wiping off the sweat. The ref coming in to see if everything's okay. Phillip rolling to the top. Woo, what a finish. What a finish. The ball to Michael Chow, guarded closely by Lum. Michael Chow rolls to the left, throws up a desperation 3, and he's fouled. He's fouling the shot. God, he doesn't think so. That was a desperation 3 if I've ever seen one. Gotti, who outsizes Michael Chow by at least 6 inches, fouls him. And he fouls him with 1 second left to go. Dan Annette can't believe it. Woo-hoo-hoo! What a finish. Michael Chow, last season in the championship game, had a horrendous championship game, scoring only 3 points. And this is an opportunity for him to redeem himself, but to make 3 in a row with basically no time left on the clock, that is some serious pressure for the young boy. Michael Chow, first shot, nothing but net. Phil with a clapping encouragement. The Pelican Bay base cheering as well. Kevin Barge, all he can do is sit and watch. Michael Chow's second shot, bounces in the front, gets the hop. Pelican Bay down by 1. Michael Chow with his third shot. Credit the young man for clutching up on the first 2. This goes in. We've got overtime. Michael Chow shot comes up short. Rebound. Eli throws up a desperation. Won't go. Ball game over. Pelican Bay comes up short by one. Baller Inc. Ballers Inc. win their second title in a row. They defend the championship from last year. And look at the great camaraderie, the great sportsmanship at center court. Pelican Bay genuinely congratulating Ballers Inc. Oh, what a finish. Michael Chow consoled by Stephen Lum.
I'm impressed that he hit 2.
Boy, oh boy, Michael Chow, what a clutch effort on those first 2 free throws. And I have to tell you, this is the best championship game I have ever seen at the JCC. Congratulations to Ballers Inc. We'll see you next season, everyone.